So I'm home now. I was just thinking, well, it's still sort of roughly Chinese New Year season. I'm moving back to the States, but the girls who did my facials and, well, the girls who sell me my facial stuff and the girl who does my physio, they were very nice. So I should give them their New Year's gift, It's a part of the Chinese practice. Everybody gives a little money to each other over New Year's. So next week I'm gonna give it to the girl helping me at physio, Stephanie, and then the girls at Clarence. They sell me the stuff, and then later they'll get me a facialist. Um, now that Liz has quit. So yeah, I was just thinking, because I'm learning a French song right now. See, this is my new apartment. It's not ready yet. It's just lots of boxes still on one side, but it's big on the other side. It's like this. But the way I am, it's gonna end up looking sort of nice unless I move back to New York within, like, I don't know, if the pandemic restrictions or COVID goes down, I could move back to New York within a year or two. I don't want to make this house look too nice. Otherwise, of course, it's going to be quite nice. There's a lace curtain behind this. You pull it up and you make it very, very fancy. You put up the lights. I have wall-to-wall carpeting. All the stuff is from here. I'll get another one there. This is all going to be, this is my sacrifice. I gave the grand piano for my parents to keep, because right now I'm just exercising my fingers, strengthen my neck. So I'm learning some songs, French songs, any kind of song. But yeah, so that was Stephanie was walking in at the end of my video. So I just wanted to say, at least I should tip her and tip the girls at the facials, the girls at Clarence. So, yeah. But like I was also saying, like, how would anyone, when you learn a new song, how would you forget the lines of a song you've been singing all your life? Like, for me, when I perform music, I mean every note that I play. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Or when I sing a song, I mean every word I sing. When I'm performing live, like, I've performed dozens and dozens of times, just like I've taken dozens of tests, dozens of exams. I've met hundreds of clients, presented at all the meetings. People can interview me anytime, and you just prepare before you go, and then when you're there, you work around whatever happens. How would you forget your lines for most basic stuff? If you learn things properly, you don't forget them. The point of doing well in a big performance, live, hundreds of people, or anything, the point of being a professional is to prepare properly so that you always get like an A plus. Doing a live concert, it's just like taking an exam for me. I've done dozens of exams and I've done dozens of live concerts. I don't understand how you would forget your lines if you learn them well. I've heard lots of horror stories, but I don't know. You just learn properly, and the moment before you go on stage, you don't think of anything strange, and you just and then you go on stage and you do what you always do. If you're making it up as you go along, like it's an improvisation, they give you a theme and then you make it up, or it's a jazz song, you don't know how you're gonna do it, or it's a video and here's the theme and you're gonna have to ad-lib it and make a big story, produce a movie out of this theme, and you're just going to say it as you go. Then do it. you know um If you couldn't do it, you wouldn't keep doing it, and you wouldn't be asked to do it. So it's that's how I am. That's how I am. Oh, my skin is pretty good right now, and I think it's because I stopped using glycolic acid for a few days because my alpha H is coming in the mail. But you need it often because that's the acid. That's what keeps the skin like exfoliating, and that's how it stays young. But I guess too much of it, that's why it's dry on certain days. That's why on certain photos, some photos I look like there's a line here. It's not. It's a dry day because I apply the glycolic acid and the retinol too well. I do it too often. So you stop it a couple days and even on photos all that stuff is gone. Well, so I feel okay. I'll be okay. It's just my neck really hurts. So I have to work on that and get strength back in my arms. Mm. Yeah, so that's me in my messy home, and I'm just sitting around. I'm wearing these fuzzy pink slippers, and I just wear. Sometimes I wear a top without a bottom. I feel I feel very comfortable at home. Mm. You know, um, I mean, it's really loud outside, and you keep hearing people speaking in Cantonese. But my parents tell me that we never identify what those voices are outside the house, um, and you should just ignore them until you don't hear them anymore. Um, if you know, you listen to what you know you're listening to. So it's okay. We're doing okay, but I miss all my friends in the States, and we're using every possible way we can to get back home as soon as possible. Um, and my friends are mostly really cool, really smart too, so we'll get out of here looking okay. Um, so saying hi to everyone. Can't wait to be home in the States. I just wanna be able to walk down the street and get a coffee. See some friends, eat somewhere, have a cocktail, see some shows. Um, yeah, I mean, there's nothing out. Hong Kong is a very, very little town, which is and it's a part of China. And in China, there are some very big cities like Shanghai, Beijing. Those are huge, and that's where the fashion is, that's where the art is. In Hong Kong, it's got nothing. Fashion doesn't come to Hong Kong, neither does classical music, neither does big classical art. Couple of modern artists, but they mostly, if they're Asian, they live in China, they live in Japan. Hong Kong is it's like a small town. It's like if you were in the States, you lived in New York, San Fran, Chicago, LA. And that's like, in China, that would be like Shanghai, Beijing, uh, Tianjin, Chengdu. Hong Kong isn't up there. Hong Kong is not a big city, and there's nothing going on. It's got a few people here, and you know, it's if you don't feel like you're a part of China, but you don't really fit into America, um, I'm very lucky because I am a U.S. citizen, but also I fit in well. And when I was going to school and when I was working back in the States, Americans feel I'm acceptable. I'm an acceptable American. I'm well behaved. My hundreds of friends love me. Everybody I went to school with think I'm pretty cool. I'm not too crazy, but I'm cool enough. Um, so I'm very, very lucky I don't have to be stuck in Hong Kong. Just think if you were stuck in Hong Kong, but you're not like you're coddled, and so you're not like the people who grew up in actual China where they compete with each other really fiercely, and they're as competitive as the really smart people in the States. you know. It's a hard life for the few in Hong Kong who sort of had a comfortable childhood in Hong Kong, but they can't compete with Americans and they can't compete with real Chinese, and so they don't succeed socially, or mentally and in business in either of the two countries. It's very sad for them. Um, but we care about what matters, and I care about my friends who love me. And it's the state of things, and it's also a matter of your popularity, how nice you were when you were in school. I'm never mean to people, even if I don't know them. And I don't grow up uh, seeing people I didn't really talk to in school, but who sort of, maybe they did, if they did better than me in school, and now, they're going through a bad patch, and I'll go and, you know, uh, walk up to them and spit at them. That's very bad. That's very bad behavior. You don't, and if the whole world's watching you do it, you lose any way of surviving. The only person you could have, the only person who could have helped you survive is standing in front of you. It's kind of silly, but this is the state of things. And some people, their social skills are so lacking, they don't understand until the Americans and the Chinese say it in plain English and plain Chinese in your face. They could be Chinese people, but their social skills are so low that if you didn't explain it to them in plain Chinese, they wouldn't understand what was going on. They'd still be standing around thinking that they were invited in party. Actually, you've already asked the cops to ask them to leave. Um, but I'm just going to focus on designing the house. Hmm. Right now it's a pandemic, so I do my clothes and fashion shopping online. And then I do a little more shopping later when my parents give me a little bit more pocket money again. And then I live in New York, and if I'm lucky, I might fall in love with a nice American guy, white guy, Asian guy, some black guy, I don't know. Um, and that's it for me. My life is always going to be just like it is now. It's not very special. If I'm successful, I'll have a job. If I'm not very successful, then I guess I won't. It really depends. You work more if you're successful. If you're not successful, then you work less. So, and I just have many, 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 many very close friends, and then I also want to meet a lot of really nice new friends. Uh, you know, Hmm. I I lost many opportunities as well. I could find when I was younger, I could have found much higher paying jobs, and maybe I wouldn't lose my piano. And so everybody, I also sacrificed a lot too. A lot of my friends have been harmed through the pandemic. A lot of people say silly nonsense. You don't know why you hear nonsense that's nothing to do with the truth. They don't have no idea what's true. So it's a lot of bad things happen, but as long as your friends and your family stay together with you, and we try to get out of this unscathed, because you know yeah, that looks really bad. You know yeah. Mm. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking now, and I'm just going to sit on my bed wedge for the rest of the day, watch some YouTube and Netflix.